That's the smug had a kind of a crash out on this, so we're seeing what's going on.
Behave yourself, chat. It's Easter Sunday. Relax, okay? It's like a bunny ears on.
Donald Trump, along with Elon Musk, have created a new government agency called Doge. And what I originally thought was just an older sibling giving a younger sibling an unplugged video game controller actually turned into a real thing. And their first order of business was dismantling USAID, an innocent government program that helped poor people all around the world. Or was it?
When did you ever know a government thing to be innocent? But let us learn the truth. Show us the way, Shu, our queen of politics.
Hello and welcome back to the Shoe on Head channel. I am Shoe on Head and I am not real. I am a figment of your imagination. You have been in a coma since 2012. Wake up.
Oh god, please. If I'm still in a coma in 2012, it means I can play WoW again.
Wake up. Today we will be talking about the dark, seedy underbelly
The truth of the WoW addict right there.
of USAID. This is a topic I've been interested in for a very long time now. And now that recently USAID has been in the news, I figured it is a perfect time to finally talk about it.
Yay!
All the mainstream liberal coverage I've seen of this has basically been late night talk show hosts crying fake tears about it being dismantled, and all the mainstream Republican coverage has just been about all the woke shit USAID was apparently funding. But I promise you, it is more than that. A lot more. If you're not a very political person and you only come here to consume the Reddit gender war slop, you should still stick around for this because this gets juicy.
Chat, she's talking to me! I'm that non-political gender war slop consumer.
Yes, you are smug.
Tasty.
Yes, you are.
And remember,
Inject it.
even if you're not interested in politics, politics is interested in you. And
Mainly stealing your wallet from taxes and anything else they can get from you.
trust me, I understand why some people aren't interested in politics. It's confusing, it's stressful, it's a lot to keep up with. I feel like 500 things happen every single day. But thankfully, I have a tool.
And extremely violent nowadays. You take one side and immediately the other side is trying to either steal a hat or push you in front of a train.
Tool to help with that. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, this video is sponsored by USAID. Just kidding. This video is sponsored by Ground News. Let's quickly go to the shout and then we'll jump back into the deep dive, shall we? Ground News is a website and an app that gives readers a fun and transparent way to read the news all across the political spectrum. From left, right, and center. Every story comes with a quick visual breakdown of political bias that helps you understand the full story and make sure you're getting both sides. One of my favorite features of Ground News has to be the blind spot feature. It shows you news stories that have been covered by only one side of the political spectrum and ignored by the other side. For example, here is a story about how Elon Musk apparently pressured the Reddit CEO to moderate content on the site.
That's
right away, we
bad.
can see that the story has been covered by 12 sources. And out of these 12 sources, 75% lean left. And no right-wing sources have covered it. Ground News also makes it really easy to compare headlines to see how political bias or ownership can affect the framing of a story. For example, this right-wing headline about how Trump is taking executive action to make DC safe and beautiful, while this left-leaning headline frames the same story as Trump wants Washington, DC to be Berlin 1939.
Okay. I have still friends who have similar apps like this. Not this one. But we sit there and laugh at these articles all the time because they're so different. It's insane. You need to just get this just so you can laugh or make your own content about this if you're political. It's insane.
What? I've been using Ground News for 4 years now because it's great. I love it, and it really helps me see how both sides frame things so differently. Best of all, I am currently offering 40% off their Vantage plan, which is what I use to access all of their amazing features. This comes out to only $5 a month. That's like the price of a coffee. And it is so worth it. It is one of the first apps I check in the morning. It's great. So go to ground.news/shoot or use the QR code on screen right here, or use the link in the video description down below. Again, that is ground.news/shoe, or click the link down below. I think what they're doing is super important because it helps people approach the news in a more fair and balanced way, and I feel like we need that now more than ever. So thank you to Ground News for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, for not skipping the ad.
Thank you, Ground News, for sponsoring all queen of political satire. Shoe on head, everybody. Thank you, Ground News.
Right? Now,
No, I would
never.
never. Can I just also say something? There's a shitload of schizophrenic, unemployed retards with high blood pressure whose life mission it is to argue about things that they don't understand.
That's basically go back to the old additive. The more someone doesn't know about anything, the more they try to convince you about it, and the louder they get to convince you about it. So basically, if you in the work environment, if you hear someone just start yelling about their side, you know they have no idea what they about what they're talking about. Woo.
I think I said that part out loud, but I'm just saying, chat, contain your outrage.
let's get back to this USAID deep dive, shall we?
Who could that be? No, it's not you. You're
so
a good
Donald
chatter.
Trump and
You're
Elon
a
Musk
good chatter.
created the Department of Government Efficiency, aka DOGE. Get it?
Doggy.
Like the Reddit meme from 2012. Epic bacon, my fellow memer.
You know, I don't spend a lot of time on news. So when I start hearing about Doge this, Doge this, Doge this, Doge that, I actually thought they meant about the meme coin on crypto. I was like, what? Why is the dog coin in the government? It should. I'm so confused. But I do not get context very easily. Like the first time someone tried to give me a high, well, it's the first time someone tried to give me a high five, I just stared at the hands like, I don't understand what you want from me. I've got a little bit better over the years, but I'm still pretty bad at it. Okay, continue.
Honestly,
Can I has cheeseburger?
who am I to talk about dead memes? My username is Shoe on Head. So Doge's supposed goals.
I actually had to look up shoe on head as a meme. I did not get that reference. I'm sorry, shoe. I didn't get it. And I don't. Looking back, it's like those 80 pads on the shoulders. It's like, why? I don't know.
Seems to be cutting useless spending the government is making us pay taxes on. Now, I have very mixed feelings about taxes.
Fuck taxes.
From each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. Taxation is theft! The tree of liberty will be refreshed with the blood of tyrants! My opinion
Honestly, that's valid.
has always been, if we are going to pay taxes in this country, could they at least go to things that actually help people, like Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, child
Veteran
tax
care.
credits, firefighters, fixing our bridges and roads.
Yeah.
Exactly. Why can't they go to things that actually help people? In fact, I'm pretty sure someone did an investigation on this. That most of this goes back to the political areas, especially the high income areas, so all the potholes get fixed in front of the businesses and stuff. Gotta look that up.
Castrating pedophiles, government-funded girlfriends,
Best.
things like that. And yes, we should be auditing the government. I think that's a good thing. Frankly,
I never really down for it. Government funded girlfriend experiences. Think about it. Never have to be alone. Go to a movie, someone's there. Go to the local carnival. No, be nice.
don't care who does it as long as they do it well. Good things are good, bad things are bad. I'm anti-bad things, pro-good things. Those are my politics.
No,
Awesome.
shoot, no, you're not allowed that shoot. No, you can't do that. No, you're not allowed to have diverse original opinions you came to yourself that don't align with your chosen political party. No. If you do, we'll label you a grifter and pick me a fat center.
Dang.
No, absolutely
That was a rant. Okay.
zero deviation from the approved thought guidelines, Mrs. Shu. You can't do that.
She can.
And hating libertarians. Just kidding, I love libertarians. I get along great with them. As long as we don't talk about child labor. Anyway, Doge got straight to work, firing government workers and basically hiring my Twitter mutuals. What was once a theater kid-occupied government is now a right-wing schizo poster-occupied government.
Wow.
No, I am not joking.
So this is a 19-year-old high school graduate who
Oh my god. I remember this.
has used the unfortunate nickname Big Balls
Yes.
So strange.
Yeah.
online. So that would be one way that we could refer to him. He is now working at Musk's behest in
Okay, so low key here. That's probably the safest one you could find. And usernames.
inside Doge.
They had to put big balls on the screen. Oh my god, that's so funny. I'm sorry, that's just so funny to me.
If you had told me 10 years ago that Donald Trump and Elon Musk would hire some Zoomer named Big Balls to help audit the government, I'd believe it. Like, yeah, that checks out. They have no relevant experience. Most of them aren't old enough to rent a car.
I believe that is true. I believe in most American states, the legal age is 25. Oddly enough, but it's only 18, I believe, to go fight and die for your country. And I believe it's only 18 for you, the country to make you sign up to selective service if you're a male. And yeah, you get on your 18th birthday, you get a little card if you're a male that says, "Are you signed up?" Because if not, you're going to get a fine or jail time. Woo!
Oh my god, I have so much to say. I'm gonna pause.
They're not even
I'm gonna let him cook. I just think I had a brain aneurysm.
old enough to rent a car. They're in their 20s. We sent 18-year-olds to go die in the wars you cheerlead on, you evil hag.
Thank
Why are they
you.
so focused on the ages of these people when our government is basically a retirement home?
Thank you! I don't think anybody likes their government officials to be ancient ass fossils.
No freaking kidding. Who was that one guy who's the longest serving guy? He was like pro racism and separation of races, and then he flipped. Hang on, I gotta Robert C. Byrd. Served in their Senate for 51 years, 5 months, and 26 days. 51 years. The next person is Daniel K. I can't read names. 49 years, 11 months, and 15 days. Patrick J. Leahy, 48 years. Storm Thurmond, 47 years. Guys, this is insane. There is several who are 40 plus years in the Senate. That is just insane. And they get elected all the time. I mean, this is definitely just why was this invented? They were supposed to be, the educated to help. I believe the Senate was made to be the educated ones who will guide, while the House majority was represented the public, the younger public people. And then you have the president that was supposed to be the decision maker for the executive branch. And yet it does not work that way. You have career politicians now, when it used to be a part-time thing, like during the summer or something, they would go and travel to Washington and hang out and then go back home to run their businesses and stuff like that. It's not like that anymore.
They're not even boomers. They're the ones before the boomers. Especially when those ancient ass fossils are mysteriously increasing their net worth by millions of dollars when their salaries are hundreds of thousands.
Exactly. Thank you, Smug. Thank you. I mean, how do you, like ARC, you go from working a bartender, you know, I don't know what bartender makes. I heard they make pretty good depending where you are. But you go from making a bartender wage to be a multi-millionaire on a couple $100,000 salary. That does not equate.
Nobody likes it. And it's 100% a problem on both sides. Both sides do it. And I know the Karna argument is like, oh, but Alana, they need life experience to make good decisions. No, they don't. Because the majority of the people in our government right now have more experience than anybody else, and they still suck ass. So shut the fuck up. They still make terrible decisions constantly. This is the World of Warcraft equivalent of having 100,000 hours playtime, but still not being able to avoid the fire in the fucking ground during a raid. Except imagine.
I don't really get that. It was because I play Final Fantasy 14. But from what I think what she said is like if you're Final Fantasy 14, you got those triggered cinematic things with the bosses, frontal attack, side attacks and stuff like that. If you don't know the basics of your dungeon raid and you have thousands of play hours, it doesn't make sense. Right? And that's what's with these senators. They have 40 plus years apparently, and they still don't know what they're doing. You probably see. I think you probably seen them on sleeping if they're there, because apparently when they're reading the bills, they don't all have to be there. Was it C-SPAN or everything when they're reading off new bills and stuff? There's like 2 or 3 people and they're like chilling out and sleeping in the corner.
Those fucking retards breaking your raid are getting inside information from Blizzard to make $1 million a year through the fucking auction house. Oh my god, it makes me so upset.
But honestly, I don't blame Hillary Clinton.
Makes
If I were her, I
upset.
also wouldn't want 22-year-olds in the government.
Yeah. I'm sure that hurt.
Months before dismantling the Department of Education, or apparently Sesame Street, Doge's first order of business was dismantling USAID.
Without providing any proof, Elon said USAID is a criminal organization. Oh yeah, they're an international crime syndicate hell-bent on helping people.
Pretty f***ed up, huh?
Yeah.
Taking money away from an aid program that helps poor people all around the world. Except USAID was not exactly that. In fact, it doesn't even f***ing stand for aid. It stands for United States Agency for International Development.
That totally makes sense now. International development. Ladies and gentlemen, international development. Let me unpack this for you. That's CIA. Anything that we do for America is overseas is CIA. Kid you not. We have our hands on everything. Wow. But it makes all sense now. It makes sense for the stupid names.
It has f*** all to do with aid. But honestly,
I have a lot of people in my chat piping up a while ago saying, Alana, it's aid. That's what it stands for. I remember that.
I don't blame you for
I don't
thinking it does.
forget.
After all, they do make the word aid.
She's coming for you guys. She is coming for you. She got that calm, you know, with like with your mom. She gets that calm voice. It's like the calm before the storm, before that belt comes out, or if you got that grandmother, you know, they practice the shoe. One movement, just whip that shoe off, that sandal off their foot and slap you with it. Whap! And like, ah.
Aid a different color in the logo. Those sneaky bastards.
It's almost like they're professional. Like they're really good at propaganda.
Though it said USAID provides 42% of global aid, the truth is most of those funds are just spent paying US contractors and secretly conducting regime change all around the world. In fact, 80% of all USAID funding goes to just 75 organizations, while only 6% of that goes to aid. And by auditing USAID, Doge exposed the true, real puppet masters behind the secret cabal of evil masterminds funding the woke ideology spreading all around the globe. You. Yes, it was you, American taxpayer.
What?
Turns out the deep state was the friends we made along the way. And yet,
Me? I did that?
yes, it's true, we are spending billions of dollars in our tax money to fund things like teaching Sri Lankan journalists how to avoid binary gendered language, combating disinformation in Kazakhstan, promoting inclusion in Vietnam, millions to an Armenian LGBT group, millions to rebuild the Cuban media ecosystem, millions for LGBT causes in the Western Balkans, millions for LGBT activism in Uganda, millions for atheism in Nepal, millions for male circumcision around the world, and $2 million for sex changes in Guatemala. And many other things that were so ridiculous I had to double check to make sure I wasn't being trolled.
Dude, that was everybody's first thought, or like something close to it. My initial reaction was it's a psyop to like push for socialized healthcare. Because I would wager a guess that even if you hate socialized healthcare, you would much rather your taxpayer dollars go to that shit than any of the shit on this list.
Taxpayer-funded sex
Totally
changes
agreed.
in Guatemala? We don't even do that here. Now, you might be saying, Shoo, this seems like some stupid anti-woke shit. And yeah, kind of. You got me. But I ask you, young naive liberal, why the f*** was John Bolton once the head of USAID? John Bolton, for those of you who are unaware, is an infamous neocon hack. He's literally criticized Trump for not being enough of a warmonger. Neocon
What?
hacks, for those same few of you who are unaware, are the people in our government responsible for meddling with other countries all around the world and getting us into wars for basically funsies. The people who suck the teat of Raytheon, Boeing, etc. The military-industrial
Hello. And their personal companies that they of course have no connection to, but when they leave office they somehow become like chief financial officer or chief technical officer, even though they had, he's like, whoops.
complex's favorite Discord kittens.
And Honeywell, and Texas Instruments, and many other wholesome household appliance companies that make space heaters and calculators, but also make ballistic missiles. What's the meme? Like, oh, we're making microwaves, and then it spouts out like a fucking ballistic missile. Yeah, General Electric, that's a good one, thank you. I mean, Texas Instruments makes sense, because it's Texas, but my point still stands, chat.
Texas! Woo! Go Texas! Go Texas!
These guys come in shades of red and blue. So why was John Bolton, a red guy, in charge of the same program, USAID, that is sending American taxpayer money to foreign countries to have things like trans pride parades? The truth is, the USAID thing goes a lot deeper than what a lot of Republican commentators are saying. It wasn't just a bunch of libtards in government wasting our money on stupid woke things. No. There's way more than that. You see, it's current year and we can't just do old-fashioned imperialism anymore. The people don't like that. It's a new era, so we have to dress it up in glitter. And rainbows. To put it bluntly, USAID is nothing but another form of taxpayer-funded regime change, wearing an innocent mask of aid. Shut up, Shoo! You dumb bimbo populist! You reactionary shitlord! You cry, tears running down your fat, retarded face.
Dang.
The United States is just giving foreign countries billions of dollars out of the kindness of their hearts. Oh yeah? I have a lovely bridge on sale down the road. Would you like to buy it? Listen,
Yes.
Despite all its faults, I love America, and I love the American people. But if you believe the corrupt, greedy bureaucrats running the deep state of this country do anything out of the kindness of their hearts,
You're
you
delusional.
are a sweet, innocent angel, and you need to be protected at all costs.
Hear that? Hear that, people? I need to be protected. I require meat shields to protect my innocence.
Especially side-eye
That's a nice way of putting it.
any leftists who has the nerve to run defense for USAID, especially those who call themselves socialists or commies. Considering the fact that USAID was basically originally created to destroy communist countries all around the world. Established in 1961 by President John F. Kennedy under the noble guise of aiding developing
JFK.
nations, USAID was, in many respects, an instrument during the Cold War to counter Soviet influence and keep the Third World from crafting its own socioeconomic model. A year after President John Kennedy created USAID in 1961, he told its directors that, as we do not want to send American troops to a great many areas where freedom may be under attack, we send you. It wasn't long before the CIA
How about that? Make them the warm and fuzzies right there. Yeah, we're not sending trained military officers. No, we're sending you with nothing. Good luck. Nothing but a tablet. But probably back then it's probably a pen and paper.
spotted an opportunity to extend its reach. In 1962, USAID launched its Office of Public Safety to send agents around the world under the guise of training police officers. But as it turned out, the trainers were busy teaching enhanced interrogation techniques, a euphemism for torture. The scandal broke out in 1966, and although the office was finally shut down in 1974, the dark practices persisted within military and intelligence circles.
Oh, no.
By 1980, USAID Administrator John Gilligan was candid enough to describe the agency as nothing more than a graduate school for the CIA. At one time, many aid field offices were infiltrated from top to bottom with CIA people, he said. It was pretty well known in the agency who they were and what they were up to. The idea was to plant operatives in every kind of activity we had overseas, government, volunteer, religious, every kind. USAID was quickly nicknamed the CIA's little sister. Oh, and here's John Bolton holding a trophy given to him by USAID in
Nothing says aid, people, like a hand grenade. That's what we were doing in World War I and World War II, people. Just sending our aid of steel across those trenches.
It's a hand grenade. It's a hand grenade.
the shape of a hand grenade. Yeah, nothing to see here, folks.
That's totally normal.
So let's talk about Zune.
That's totally normal. I don't think that's normal.
Zaneo, shall we? Sit down. I love this story.
I'm already sitting.
Taken directly from Wikipedia, Zunzaneo was an online social networking and microblogging service created by the United States Agency for International Development, aka USAID, and marketed to Cuban users. It was
Okay.
covertly developed as a long-term strategy to encourage Cuban youths to revolt against the nation's government. The developers aimed to use non-controversial content, such as sports and music, to build up subscribers and then to slowly introduce political messages through social bots to encourage dissent in an astroturfing initiative.
I need someone.
So basically, USAID created a fake-ass social media platform in Cuba with our tax dollars, flooded it with bot content about like sports and music and whatever, just to make it seem normal, then slowly started to manipulate the users and create political division on the app between Cuban citizens in order to create political chaos in this country and a potential uprising. So yeah,
Chat, a crime even worse than spreading woke bullshit in third world countries that are more worried about feeding themselves than gender politics. Being a glowy. They're actually glowies, chat. Anyone else think it's kind of weird that within a few months of USAID getting gutted, 4chan gets hacked and shut down? What if USAID was like the arm of the CIA that was in charge of monitoring and influencing 4chan?
Whoa,
Fucking
you're right. That's mind-blowing right there.
Holy shit. Federal agents in my 4chan?
yeah, how dare we take money away from those starving undercover agents? To make things even more sus, the money we spent on Zunzaneo was publicly documented as an unnamed project in Pakistan. Yes, this fake-ass social media psyop they created in Cuba was documented by our government as being a project in Pakistan.
What?
That's right, baby. You move that money around so you can't follow it. Hence all these weird woke name titles. It's just a placeholder to send the money there, then it gets moved around to some other country.
Now, think of all the other weird shit USAID was supposedly funding. Those sex changes in Guatemala. Were they really sex changes in Guatemala? Or were they some covert psyop being done somewhere else in the world? I guess we'll never know now.
Let's see if I can read this. USAID website offline as Trump moves to under State Department.
Using social media to divide the masses and create political division. You don't think...
No, way.
Oh,
Never.
No. They wouldn't do that.
No.
I mean, it's kind of weird they asked the former founder of Twitter to help with this project, but no.
No. We're good.
I'm scared, chat. I'm scared.
You should.
Yo, Cuba, do you need a hug? What the fuck?
Oh no. They would only do social media psyops in other countries, right? Right? In March 2024, a document was exposed that revealed USAID was running covert psyops all around the internet in order to combat populist misinformation about the government on Twitch, Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, and 4chan. Although its internal justification was halting the flow
Smug was right, people. Smug was right.
of mis and disinformation, it seemed particularly concerned with malinformation, a concept it defines as speech that is factually correct but misleading, i.e., bothersome truths the US government would prefer the public does not know.
Does that not sound like the what the our current media, the legacy media, has been spouting a lot about?
I wonder what kind of facts they're not liking, chat.
USAID suggests directing the public toward mainstream corporate sources of information and psychologically inoculating them against inconvenient facts that challenge US power by pre-bunking information before people see it. Pre-bunking includes discrediting the brand,
Holy shit, this is so smart. I need to take notes, man.
credibility and reputation
This is
of those
crazy.
making false allegations. In other words, a state-directed attack against alternative media and critics of the US government. So basically,
And you wonder why there's such a massive push against legacy media. This is why everyone hates Fox, CNN, and MSNBC, and all of the other legacy media cable news outlets. Because they're so linked. Because they're, like, very likely directly linked to the federal government in some way.
Explains why they all say the same thing. You put multiple TVs on with multiple of the news agencies on, and they'd be saying almost the exact same thing verbatim.
The internet has this conversation so often. It's like, it's always, why did they cover this really controversial thing, but it completely ignored this controversial thing?
The
To
narrative.
anybody with eyeballs, it's been obvious, like, forever. That's why everyone has been starting to get their news from, like, alternative media and, like, streamers now, even. And shocker, the US government has been attacking it. I just don't understand how there's, like, this contingency of people who not only believe, but fight to spread the word of the United States. Like, they're interfering in foreign affairs and actively attempting to, like, overthrow foreign governments. And then if at the same time refuses to believe they do anything similar at home. It's crazy. You guys, have you seen the compilation of the 9/11 news reporters repeating the exact same thing within like an hour of it happening? Every single news station was saying the exact same thing, and it's like when you dub them over, they're literally word for word saying the exact same thing with no.
Exactly, like I just said, it's all the same thing. I mean, some of the reporters do add their own words or two because you know they're memorizing words and they got to put it in their own context, at least the good ones. And Yeah, we describe doing this to other countries as to keep the peace, to keep it from overflowing into our area. Social. But yeah,
Alternate phrasing. Have you ever seen that? It's terrifying.
Basically, USAID was funding a bunch of dorks to go all around social media and be like, source every time.
Actually, she looks so cute with her glasses. She looks at the actually.
Time someone criticizes the government. This is somehow more pathetic than when I used to use an alt account to defend myself on BreadTube subreddits.
Oh, shoo, you didn't have to do that.
That is basically what our government was doing. Also, I like how this implies the people you called a Fed online might have actually been a Fed.
Yeah.
There is a chance that you may have fought with a federal agent, a USAID federal agent on Twitter or 4chan. This also implies that, like, streamers and social media influencers may have been funded by USAID.
Not me, chat. I am going on record. No, I am not.
But who?
I'm pretty sure
Who
she
among
gets paid in
us?
cheese,
Who would be
guys.
willing to unquestionably, enthusiastically suck establishment cock that hard?
Not me, chat. Like, legitimately, think about it logically. No, think about it logically. I hate the government. I hate the government. What are you talking about?
For all the bad stuff America does around the world, USAID was just an organization that did a lot of nice things. Like, it put a lot of money into efforts to help people in a variety of ways, like both materially and culturally. It's just like a nice way for the United States to have a positive presence around the world.
For the record, I do not actually believe Destiny is being funded by USAID.
No, I think you should just Adderalled up and being a schizo. I don't know, man. If it comes out that no.
I just thought that transition was funny. I fucking love that quote.
was
though.
hilarious.
USAID was just a nice
They're
organization
just a
that
nice
did a
little-
lot of nice things,
They're
like
just a chill little guy.
culturally help people around the world. Culturally help people? Why are we in the business of cultural imperialism? Why do we have to culturally?
And then we scold people for then we do the same thing, but like in America. Like, that's crazy. It's like you should wake up and like smell the coffee, man. It's so crazy to me that people are saying that kind of thing unironically, and then you look overseas and they're like, we should bring atheism to Nepal. It's like, what the fuck?
it's like, yeah. I mean, what you try and be like the Christians back during the holy crusades, back during the crusades, which wasn't really about. I think they were trying to get the Silk Road. I gotta look that up again. I'm just a 2D banana here, so I don't really know anything. But yeah, there's usually something else behind that. It's not just let's be a huge happy family and help just because we want to be helpful.
Enrich Latin America or the fucking Balkans. So not only are we the world
Yeah,
police,
the
but we are now the
Balkans.
world HR department?
Yes!
No thank you. Why are we spending billions of dollars doing fuck-ass shit in other countries while ours crumbles? I don't care about teaching gender studies to Ugandans. The pothole in front of my house hasn't been filled in 3 years. These are my
True.
taxes, and I believe my taxes should go to help people in my country.
True.
Heck yeah, to my own country, y'all. Especially for things like healthcare and other things. Healthcare and, I don't know, paying people. What was it? Who is it? Wasn't the IRS like they overpaid people on the disability list by $100,000, and then they could turn around and want the money back? So, this little old lady who's like fighting cancer spent all the money, and she turns her onto her bank account. It's like negative hundreds of thousands of dollars because the IRS took all the money back. Yeah. How about we stop doing that to our own people and actually help them?
think that's controversial to say. And I know many conservatives agree with me. I'll always hear them say, we can't be spending money in Ukraine. We have to take care of our own. And then they just don't take care of their own. Because that's socialism or communism or something.
True.
Listen, do you actually want to take care of your
cringe.
own? Do you actually want your taxes to go towards helping the poor and sick and families in this country? Are you actually America first, or?
I would rather my taxpayer dollars go to the next Asmongold or some shit to fucking stream and play World of Warcraft than go overseas. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Are you corpos and foreign countries?
For those that don't know, Asmongold used to live on welfare. He, like, actually unironically lived on welfare for the longest time until he started making money.
I can see that.
Yeah. But help some poor sucker! Like, I'm sure one of you guys is unemployed in my chat. I'm just saying! He worked for the IRS? How the fuck is that relevant to what I just fucking said? Are you retarded or something? Yes, he worked for the IRS. Yes, and he was unemployed before that for the longest time. I would rather give my taxpayer.
Why does it matter what you work for? You're working. You don't work for a political. Who of us wants to work at Walmart just because we always dreamt of supporting Walmart with our work labor, or some other place? No, we work to make men's paychecks so we can eat and live. I would, yeah.
Your money to some unemployed fuck in my chat. Please, go ahead.
First. I'm more than happy to work with you on good things to fix this country. But I don't think the establishment GOP is.
You don't want able-bodied workers on a program that is intended, for example, for single mothers with 2 small children who's just trying to make it. That's what Medicaid is for, not for 29-year-old males sitting on their couches playing video games. We're going to find those guys and we're going to send them back to work.
First of all,
Caught my hands.
What work, ladies and gentlemen? What work? And I'm pretty sure you're on the same page as me. I was making bank. I got laid off, and I haven't been able to find a job comparable in about 4 years. I went from making almost 6 figures to nothing. And now I have to work 2 part-time jobs just to make ends meet, making minimum wage currently. Because there's no jobs anywhere else. And the one jobs that are there are, of course, being taken by friends and family of the people who work there. I mean, I don't blame them. If I had those connections, I'd be working them too, because you have to do and work every advantage you have just to get a job. I digress.
Up. Not the male part, but caught. Chat, I need Medicaid to keep funding the 29-year-old males playing video games. Otherwise, my raid team is gonna crumble. I need those unemployed dudes. But no, really, like, if you want to get the 29-year-old males playing video games to get off Medicaid and get a job, then make it reasonable for them to want to do so. I don't blame any of the dudes that don't want to participate in the system. When the reality for them is apply for a job for ages, never get hired because you have no experience, but if you do get hired by some chance, your reward is work until you die.
I have to agree with her. I mean, who wants to be in this? And it's a cog. You're basically a cog. They don't care about you. They'll drop you off. And like she said, if you did get a job, that's a big if in today's economy. And if you do, you're working till you die because it's just how it is. Or you get lucky enough to find another job and with a high pay because you are not getting a raise. No one's giving out raises. They have the budgets for companies now are larger for potential new hires than it is for their own experts. So it's insane.
No, you want to be able to afford a house or have kids.
Not
That's
happening.
a shitty deal. And lots of young men and women, by the way, are opting out. I've been seeing a lot of girl failure VTubers popping up on Twitter. On my For You page recently that live like Asmongold. Lots of women that don't want to work until they die either.
Yeah. Yeah, some of these have doctorates. All of them actually have doctorates, and they're just got tired. They got tired, got laid off, and they're just like, I'm just going to stay here and veg because you're kind of damn if you do and damn if you don't. So why put in the effort when I could just veg on the couch and not stress about interviews and stuff, right?
Medicaid is for anyone who needs it, period. And second of all, 29-year-old guys? You mean your fucking voter base? You mean the very demographic that is shifting the entire country in your direction? Those guys? Yeah, we're just wasting so much money helping young men. Those greedy gamers just gobbling up
Chat, you're young. Youthful.
all the tax money. Not massive tax cuts to corporations and the rich. Not all the money to the bloated military-industrial complex. No. Gamers. Young men who
Gamers are the
can't find a
problem.
job, can't afford a house, can't afford college. Young men who can't build a family because of the society you created.
Yes,
Those
you.
guys, they need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and pay for their own Medicare. This care isn't for them. It's for women. What? Great to know both sides of the establishment fucking hate young men. Anyway, sorry, I popped off. Let's get back on topic. Now, USAID did do some good things. I won't deny that. But even some of the good things USAID did were nothing but a bunch of fronts. Using Cuba as an example again, because these
Poor
are some of
Cuba,
the only
man.
ones that have been exposed so far, there was a USAID program called the Travelers Project that was said to be an HIV prevention workshop. But yet
Okay.
again, it was nothing but another covert regime change psyop. This was exposed in 2014 by the Associated Press. Young Venezuelans and Peruvians were deployed by USAID to Cuba's college campuses for $5.41 an hour. Really, USAID?
Holy shit, that's like nothing.
Billions of dollars force.
That's working at that's bad. That's like working at a restaurant job as a waiter or something where they pay you like $2.17 an hour because they could get away with it because they say you make up the difference in tips.
Feminizing mice and you can't even pay your spies a living wage.
Yeah.
Sad. Anyway, they were
Very
used
sad.
to recruit college students into political organizations with the goal of turning them against their government. The goal of, once again, creating political division. In the
Jesus
exposed memos about this, USAID called their HIV workshop the, quote, perfect excuse. Right. But we're totally funding DEI in Vietnam for pure humanitarian reasons, I'm sure. This was done so sloppily that even our boy John Bolton came out and disavowed it, but not without saying he thought it was a good idea in principle. Yes, it's a great idea to create taxpayer-funded secret psyops all over the world in order to with other countries' politics. Just don't recruit teenagers to do it next time, okay? What? I honestly just
Yeah,
think it's kind of
don't do
funny we were
teenagers,
funding
I don't know.
anti-socialist agendas all around the
That
world
makes
and
it better.
disguising it as social progressivism. Don't think too hard about that one. Now, Cuba wasn't the only place USAID was culturally helping. On January 12th, 2010, humanitarian reasons, I'm sure. This was done so sloppily that even our boy John Bolton came out and disavowed it, but not without saying he thought it was a good idea in principle. Yes, it's a great idea to create taxpayer-funded secret psyops all over the world in order to with other countries' politics. Just don't recruit teenagers to do it next time, okay? What? I honestly just
Yeah,
think it's kind of
don't
funny
do
we were
teenagers,
funding
I don't know.
anti-socialist agendas all around the
That
world
makes
and
it better.
disguising it as social progressivism. Don't think too hard about that one. Now, Cuba wasn't the only place USAID was culturally helping. On January 12th, 2010, a 7.0 magnitude earthquake struck
I remember
Haiti,
that.
killing 220,000 people, injuring another 300,000, and leaving 1.5 million more homeless. In the wake of the catastrophe, the United States provided $1.6 billion in reconstruction funding to Haiti,
It's a lot.
$651 million of which went to USAID. Rather than employing Haitian construction companies, USAID contracted out the rebuilding projects to international firms. For instance, Minnesota-based construction firm Thor was awarded $18 million in contracts, and Mexico-based firm Cemex received over $7 million. But by far the largest recipient.
And they probably said that it was because they were government contractors and they couldn't labor out to regular local government, local companies because they weren't government approved by Congress and House and Senate. That's why Fat Electrician, watch Fat Electrician about the mail truck, and how they had to go through like Boeing and Lockheed Martin, Eric and Northrop Grumman, the defense contractors known for aircraft and sea vessels had to build a car because they were the only ones approved by the senators and House of the government. They couldn't go to Ford or anyone else.
Recipient of USAID funding in Haiti was Washington, D.C. based contractor Chemonics International, who received over $200 million to carry out a total of 141 projects. In fact, USAID awarded more money to Chemonics than to the entire Haitian government in the wake of the earthquake.
That's so fucked up! And they got basically, like, leftovers!
An audit conducted on Chemonics revealed that the company had a tendency to not finish jobs,
Oh my god.
evaluated its own project on arbitrary criteria, not having to do anything with the project, and failed to set timelines, causing some projects to fall behind schedule. In one case, Chemonics was contracted to build Haiti's new parliament building, but what they constructed came out half-finished and unusable. The company only built the framework of the building, not even erecting interior walls to divide office spaces, nor did they bother to furnish the building.
Oh my
Left with
god!
this,
That money went to someone else. They did absolute minimum and then siphoned that money off someone else. Probably to another PSYOP.
the Haitian government was forced to draw $775,000 from its public treasury
And just keep them poor! That's so
complete the project.
sad!
Despite these disastrous results, Chemonics to this day remains USAID's top contractor. The construction company was awarded $506.4 million in contracts in 2021 alone. In a leaked email exposed by WikiLeaks, they described this tragedy as a gold rush, ensuring that it would be great for international companies. Seems like the only thing they are culturally helping is their own wallets, am I right? And you know how you always hear
Classic.
about how poor people are in Venezuela and how the politicians are so rich and live in luxury? Yeah,
All I hear about Venezuela is the Venezuelan gold farmers on RuneScape.
a part of that has to do with USAID. Billions of dollars of aid we sent to Venezuela just lined the pockets of US-backed politicians there. Only 2% of the aid we sent to Venezuela actually went to help Venezuelans. So at this point, the whole world was basically sick of USAID's bullshit.
Bro, imagine you're like a small second or third world country that experiences a disaster and then the US sends help and it's just a bunch of Karens trying to culturally police you while you're rebuilding your infrastructure
That
in
is
the most
basically
like
it.
shitty, haphazard, unfinished way possible, and of course only pays their own companies to do it, so they stimulate their own economy instead of your economy and don't help yours. Actual classic, man. America #1 for real, for real.
Number
In
one.
2013,
That's
Bolivian President Evo
wild.
Morales expelled USAID officials from his country on the grounds that the agency had conspired against his government by allegedly manipulating social movements in the country. He also charged that a previous USAID program that sought to help cocoa farms switch to new crops was politically motivated. Russia expelled the agency in 2012 for similar reasons. Its foreign ministry argued in a statement that USAID attempts to influence political processes through its grant. And in February, Kenyan Cabinet Secretary Francis Kimimya claimed that his government had evidence that USAID had hired activists to organize anti-government protests in Nairobi in an effort to topple the government. Oh, and if you're wondering why so many news outlets and journalists were freaking out over the potential shutting down of USAID, yeah, it's probably because it's where their paychecks were coming from.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
apparently USAID was funding about 6,200 journalists and 707 news outlets all across the world.
This is the most annoying thing because if you're being paid by an arm of the US government, and more than likely like an arm of the CIA to do journalism, newsflash, you're not a journalist. You're a propaganda machine. Or at least like the little printer.
You're right.
Because you know for a fact that they would cut finding, like, to any journalist not writing things that they approve of. They would, like, immediately cut them. Absolutely pathetic. And then screeching about it on social media. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, she's right. I mean, we tried, like, what was it? Iraq, Afghanistan, one of the two. They tried to make an Al Jazeera version, but backed by the United States. And United States kept stepping in saying, oh, you can't show this guy, can't show that. Even though it was breaking news in their country. They're like, we have to show it. And the United States is like, no, this is anti-US.
Sorry, not sorry. Go get a real job. Put the fries in the bag. Go to McDonald's. Go to Burger King. Get me some nuggies, motherfucker.
Not even just America. For example, the editor-in-chief of a Ukrainian news outlet wrote that destroying USAID was a greater threat to Ukrainian journalism than the Russian invasion. What?
That's just someone trying to save their job. That's just
Holy shit.
trying to save their job at last.
There were
effort.
independent outlets shutting down everywhere,
What?
including Russia after the USAID freeze. So we were apparently funding media in both Ukraine and Russia.
I'm playing both sides, so that I always come out on top.
That's
Serbia,
right.
Moldova, all across Latin America, independent outlets shutting down everywhere. All because the little sister of the CIA can't pay no mo. So I have a question. Why the f*** were we funding media in all these other countries? Well, the CEO for the Center of Investigative Reporting, a USAID-supported Bosnian media organization, said it best. Quote, if you are funded by the US government, there are certain topics that you would simply not go after, because the US government has its interests that are above all else. Oh, I guess that answers my question. USAID is also ridden with other scandals.
Like Smug just said. It just, you're propaganda. You're just a propaganda outlet.
Such as covering up a child sex abuse ring in Kenya, kidnapping and torturing people in Uruguay, forced sterilizing 300,000 Peruvian women, and the famous one you all know, funding drug production in Afghanistan.
Yep.
Oopsie poopsies, we did little fucky wuckies. Now think about all the other that hasn't been exposed. These aren't mistakes, these aren't flukes, these aren't little fucky wuckies. This is what this program—
Chat, they're glowies and doing what glowies do best. Piss everyone off. Fuck everything up. Ruin everything that I've liked in the last 20 years. And then gaslight me about it on 4chan and Twitter!
was set out to do. This is why it was—
They can't, because remember, that could be a Fed. You never know. Well, probably not anymore. They got shut down, but you know.
We were quite literally funding Globo
Glowies!
as a sneaky way to do regime change and American intervention. Or do you think we're spending $1 million in Nepal to promote atheism because Hinduism is such a threat?
It's so bad, yeah, clearly.
The United States won't sleep until there's an ugly progress flag hanging on Starbucks on every corner of every street all over the world from Latin America to the Middle East. Ah yes, the greatest American exports, butt, sex, and war. There are a shit ton of old left-wing articles you can find online spanning back to like 2010, even earlier, about how evil USAID is. Now suddenly liberals are acting like it's another fucking beacon of democracy that we—
Oh no, it's even worse than that. They just start saying, oh, it's just like this thing that people are making up in their heads and it's not real. No, it's really good, guys.
to cry and piss and shit about just because
Okay,
it's
man.
Trump getting rid of it. Frankly, I don't care. If they start dismantling things that I do care about, things that do actually help the American people, then I will
Yep.
care. Expose where the trillions of dollars we spent on the Iraq war went next, please. Or, actually release the Epstein files.
They won't do that. They'll never do that.
Do I think
They probably will. It would just be like 100, 200 years from now. It'd just be a quiet release and no one would know.
Doge
Hell
cut
no.
USAID because they're our great comrade in arms, cutting off the tentacles of American imperialism? No.
No.
Trump probably just cut it because he thought it was a woke gay waste of money, and it was. But as far as I'm concerned, every article written about how bad dismantling it was written by John Bolton himself. Like the president of Colombia said, "Take your money with you. It's poison." All the sources I used in this video and all the information I got for this video will be in links down below. Feel free to do your own research as always. And if you like this video, please consider subscribing. A lot of you aren't subscribed apparently. You just watch and fuck off. I will find you. Also, this video is most likely going to be demonetized, so if you can and if you want to, please donate to me on Patreon, link down below. It helps the channel so much, and I appreciate it. And I will see you next time with a less serious, more fun video.
Bye. And bye to you, Smug. But yeah, go support Smug. Support Smug Alana too, but go support Shoe on Head. Amazing content creator.